Laramie Live on KOWB is back on AM 1290.
David Sutter with you, and it is my pleasure to welcome to the program. He is the rodeo chair for Laramie Jubilee Days, has been so for quite a while now. Mr. Myron Hales is on the phone with me this morning. Good morning. How are you today?
Good morning, David. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Smack dab in the wonderful 75th anniversary of Laramie Jubilee Days, and boy, after a couple of activities over the weekend, things really starting to pick up today. I know the carnival starts, but I appreciate your time this morning. I know you guys are very busy on the board. Let's talk about rodeo action getting going, first of all, with the junior bull riding event tonight out at the Albany County Fairgrounds. I know you guys are setting up the rodeo arena this morning, and it sounds like we're going to have some kind of soggy, dreary conditions, but hopefully that doesn't scare fans away from some great young guns that are kind of coming up, so to speak.
Every year we get some great kids coming up that, as we've talked before, that go from here, go into the pros and do very well. And same story tonight. We've got a bunch of good kids that are coming up tonight, both local as well as from out of town. We've got as far away as Australia. We've got California coming, Colorado, northern Wyoming, just all over the place. So looking for a good time. We added the mini bulls this year rather than putting together the calves and the steers. We decided we'd bring in the mini bulls and add to that. So from the 8-year-olds all the way through to the 14-year-olds, they'll be getting on the mini bulls, and then the 15 through the 19-year-olds, they'll be on the regular, the big bulls. So looking for some new excitement with that this year. Yeah,
I was going to say, mini bulls, obviously you've had the steers and calves, but I know that it seems like the mini bull seems like something that's kind of come of age here in the last couple of years for rodeo, and particularly getting on quote-unquote age-appropriate bulls for some of these young riders that are aspiring to go on to the higher levels, as you mentioned.
Oh, you betcha, you bet. These bulls, I may be mistaken on this, but I think they can't be over 36 inches tall to be considered a mini bull. They are just regular bulls. They've got the rodeo bull look to them, but they're just not quite as big. They are, as you said, age appropriate, where the peewee guys, they're not going to come out and just crank it right in the lats. They may crow hop a little bit and kick it up just a little bit, but not near what we can expect for the junior minis and the senior minis that, they're still going to buck, but just age appropriate, like you said.
Yeah. Does that change the time requirement with these mini bulls, or are we still looking at 8-second rides, or how are the time requirements for the different divisions tonight?
It is 8 seconds all the way through, other than the sheep riding. The sheep riding is still 6 seconds, but to get a score, they will have to ride with one hand and a rope on the sheep. But as far as the bulls are concerned, it is an 8-second ride all the way through. So, it's just, if you want to call it, big kids and little kids clothes, put it that way.
There you go. Stock Contractor for tonight. Who's bringing in the stock for the junior bull riding?
Got a few guys bringing them in. S&S Bulls out of Penrose, Colorado, will be bringing some. Hal Bucking Bulls, Tim O'Neill out of Lander will be bringing some of the juniors, the peewees, and then Jay Williams out of Pueblo, Colorado, and then Summit Pro Rodeo will be bringing the senior bulls.
Okay, all right, and obviously we go from the junior bull riding tonight. Which what's the cost to get in tonight, Myron?
Tonight it's a $5 charge.
Okay, all right.
For $5, it's a darn sure good show.
Absolutely. Bring some warm weather clothing and some blankets, folks, so you can still bundle up and the stands are covered, so you won't get rained on. That's the good part. Those of us standing out near the rodeo arena might need some more protection, though. As for tomorrow, the big Mr. T PRCA Xtreme Bull Riding event happening tomorrow, Myron. Talk a little bit about this. Obviously, we've adjusted the schedule here in the last couple of years with the junior bull riding and the Mr. T and things like that. It seems like it's worked out very well, and obviously the Mr. T getting on the Extreme Bull circuit has worked out pretty well, especially last year, I thought.
It worked out just right. We got got a heck of a lineup tonight. Unfortunately, there was a couple of bull riders that ended up getting hurt over the 4th, the Cowboy Christmas. But you expect that, and it's bull riding, and so we still have an incredible lineup of cowboys coming tomorrow night. We've got, if memory serves me right, originally we had out of the 40 bull riders that we had 3 past world champions. We had 15 WNFR qualifiers, multiple year qualifiers. So it's turned out real good. We've got Summit Pro Rodeo bringing great pen of bulls. So looking forward to just a good bull riding tomorrow night.
Absolutely. And then that leads us into the PRCA rodeo action. I know you're going to be busy all weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. There's free slack. What's the slack? Slack, what is it? We got 2-3 events that you're doing timed event slack for on Friday?
We'll start the day with the single steer roping.
Okay.
Which will start at 7 o'clock Friday morning. And then we'll have some steer wrestling, some tie-down roping, and some team roping on Friday morning. And then the women's barrel racing slack will be after the rodeo on Saturday evening.
Right. And then, of course, performances coming up Friday. You want to be there 6:30 Friday and Saturday, and then it sounds like about 12:30, 1 o'clock on Sunday. Is that correct?
1 o'clock on Sunday, yes, sir.
All right. Well, it sounds like another great year. Obviously, busy time for cowboys and cowgirls. Hopefully, you get most of the folks to show. I know sometimes folks turn out for other reasons, but hopefully you get a good group of cowboys and cowgirls coming in for the PRCA rodeo action this weekend.
So far, it's looking real good. Laramie sits real good as far as being situated between a number of the bigger paying rodeos.
Okay.
So these contestants, they can stop off in Laramie on their way to or from some of the, as they say, the bigger paying rodeos. And when I say bigger paying rodeos, we're talking, $20,000-$30,000 added per event. We're not quite at that point. Hopefully we'll get to that point sometime. But it works out pretty good for these contestants that they can just stop off in Laramie on their way through. So
now, you mentioned the payout. I know that last year you guys tried to add some more to the payout. How are things going in that regard, if you don't mind me asking?
Every year we try and kick it up a little bit at a time. Thank goodness for the wonderful sponsors that we have in the Laramie community, the great businesses that do help us out. The Laramie community pulls together for this great so that we are able to put on a good show for everybody. And every year we try and, as I say, we try and add more to the pot every year. I think total, and this being off the top of my head, total payout last year for our rodeo was somewhere in the neighborhood of about $90,000. So, it's a good payout. We're considered a medium-sized rodeo in the Mountain State circuit. So, or in the circuit standings, we're considered a medium-sized rodeo. So it does work out pretty good. The contestants like coming to Laramie, I guess.
All right. Well, Myron, thanks so much for your time. I know you're already out at the fairgrounds this morning, and hopefully you get some sleep this week, or at least next week. How about that?
Sleep's overrated, David.
All right. Thanks, Myron. I appreciate the time this morning, bud.
All right. Thanks, David.
All right.